Good evening to everyone. Whether you're watching this live on YouTube or you're watching it back on YouTube or you're listening to it on the Always Wolves podcast, very much welcome to you wherever you're watching and listening in the world. And this is the extra time show for what is becoming a very familiar scoreline. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Manchester United 1. We've had Leicester 1, Wolves 0, Wolves 0, Spurs 1, and it's been a very similar story in all of the games. You're probably wondering where Amy is again tonight. Well, she's off round the world. I think she's somewhere with her boyfriend. I know she's watched the match in a pub somewhere in the middle of nowhere, so she's not on the show tonight again. But we do have some absolute legends joining the show, which will be Manny, my good friend and co-host of the Always Wolves podcast, which we're delighted to announce, along with my YouTube channel, has been shortlisted as a finalist in the Football Content Awards, which is absolutely fantastic. So I hope you'll vote for us on that. We've got Thomas and his dad, Michael, and we've got Paul, and we'll probably be joined by some other guests throughout the show as well. We're going to get going first off with Paul, because I know he's got to get up early doors. So we're going to be chewing the fat on the game, looking at the man of the match, trying to take, and there are lots of positives, and also obviously looking forward to the end of the transfer window. I can say that we will be doing a transfer deadline day special, me, Manny, and hopefully Amy, and another special guest at 10 p.m. on transfer deadline day, running up to when the transfer deadline kicks in at 11 o'clock. So it's a late night one, but that will be a good show. And we'll have a good idea by the end of that show what Wolves squad will be for the rest of the season. I'm very much hoping that Neves and Adama Traore are still part of that squad in 2 days' time. So let's get our first guest on tonight. Massive friend of the show, always talks a great deal of sense. Hello, Paul. How are you doing?
Good evening, Dave. Evening to everyone that's joining in. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. How are you?
Absolutely good. And I should say a big thank you to our partners who power the podcast, Spider VPN. Paul, it's a funny old day again today, mate. It seems like I almost feel like I'm Bill Murray in that film Groundhog Day. You know the film that I mean, because it seems like this day seems to be repeating over and over again. I mean, does it feel a little bit like that to you as well?
It does. I mean, my overwhelming feelings are positive ones from that match today. I know the result didn't go our way, but if you compare it to some of the football that we watched last season, I remember particularly games at Leicester away, where I think our XG was 0.04. Remember that one?
That's expected goals, isn't it?
Yeah, near the start of last season. And today, even though the players are pretty much the same, Trincão's new, obviously Jimenez is back. The desire to go and try and score a goal is so much greater, and the tempo's greater. And even though we've lost the match, I've enjoyed watching us play again today. 15 shots on target, and there's not many teams that are going to do that to Man United this season, or to Tottenham, or to Leicester. 56 shots in 3 matches against those 3 teams. So we're doing a lot of things right. There's one big thing that we do need to get right for the next few matches.
Well, scoring the goals, hitting the back of the onion bag. I mean, I watched, obviously, Match of the Day. A Match of the Day will be quite interesting tonight, because if it's a typical match of the day, they'll probably show Wolves with 1 chance and United with the 3 chances that they had. And I looked on the BBC app at half time, and it says Wolves edged the first, Wolves edging United, but no goals. I was like, are you having a laugh? Wolves edged the first half. We completely dominated the first half. I think it was more even second half. I think it would be fair to say we edged the second half and dominate. If it was a boxing match, it would have probably been stopped on points at half time. And then I watched that Saish chance because it was at the opposite end. Where in the ground are you watching it from, Paul?
Normally I'm in the Billy Wright upper, but today I managed to get my daughter in, so she went with my dad in there, and I went South Bank. I was today.
So that Saish chance was at your end.
It was, yeah.
Oh, I can't believe that's not gone in, man.
Things like that, though, law of averages, they will start to go in. We're creating the chances, we're creating the opportunities. We've got the intent to go and score goals and win the game, and it will happen. I'm not sat here tonight feeling concerned, really, about it. I just think if you replayed those 3 matches again 100 times, I think on average you'd end up with something like 4, 5 or 6 points. Minimum, really. So I'm not concerned. You get little spells like that in football. You get little runs where it doesn't quite drop for you and you're playing well and you don't quite get the points. It'll come.
Well, absolutely. And to be honest, I was talking about this on the way back with our posse that go to the game. And I was saying, if it would have been any other sort of like start the season, played 3 games,
no goals, yeah.
No goals and no points, you'd feel like the Wolves fan base, because you know what they can be like, would be, oh my God, this is... But everyone is still so positive, and I think rightly so, because from the second half of the Celta Vigo game through the Leicester, especially the second half against Leicester, through the Spurs game, the Forest game away, which I went to on Tuesday night, where we were just, it was like there was a slope on the pitch, and in the first half it was almost like there was an invisible shield. I mean, we didn't score in the first half of that. It hit the inside of the post, bounced back into the keeper's arms. Then it hit the keeper in the face. Then it hit some guys, running across on his ass. And then once the goals came in, the first one, it was like like buzzes. And then today, I just thought, well, after the first half, I thought, is it going to happen again? And it's just, someone tell me, is it 53? 54 shots we've had in the first 3 games without scoring.
Yeah, 56, I think, according to Tim Spears. But yeah, also you've got to take into account the calibre of the opposition. And if you just look at Man United today, they finished second last year. The amount of money that they've spent, considering there's been a pandemic and they haven't really sold anyone, is frightening. But we frightened them today.
And what did you make of the goal, mate? Because I must admit, because it was up the opposite side to you, up the North Bank, and I sit literally around about 5 or 6 rows back, just in line with the 6-yard box. And when that tackle went in on Neves, we all heard a massive crunch, as if there'd been contact, not with a football, because with the football it's more of a thud. Yeah. Like a dull noise. It was a high-pitched crunching thing, and we all shouted that was a foul straight away. And then obviously they've gone on and scored, and Neves is lost it really. He's like going up to show the Mike Dean the contact. And have you had a chance to watch that back?
I haven't watched it back. I've seen a still of the picture, but my gut feeling at the time was he's going to blow. It's a foul. I didn't have a problem with them not putting the ball out, even though they were asking us to do that. I think the game, you play to the whistle, and the game should only stop if there's a head injury. But I do have a big issue with that challenge, and the still picture really shows that it's halfway up his shin. Graham Souness has called it a leg breaker on Sky. How on earth somebody can watch that back on VAR and say, oh, yeah, I think you've made the right decision, let the goal stand, is beyond me. That was the only way that they were going to score, I think, because Jose Sars probably had quite a quiet match. It's not
Well,
like they were peppering the goal.
I think you're right, but I have been quite impressed with Jose Sarr. I think his distribution, when he gets the ball, he seems to get the ball out a lot quicker than Rui does or used to. And also, I think Rui used to be. I love Rui, Patricia. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he was great, and he's a brilliant shot stopper and world-class keeper. But he was very much stuck to his line, whereas Jose Sarr tends to come out a bit more commanding. But I do think he probably should have done better with the shot that came in. Was it Greenwood that scored for them?
Yeah, it was,
I think he'd be very disappointed. But I think also because of the tackle, I think Wolves kind of switched off, thinking it was going to be pulled back and a foul, and were like campaigning, shouting for the foul. And that little bit of concentration where we've been very good. I mean, the defence, you've got to say, have been really, really good. You've got no Bolly that's been in there for a while. Obviously, Yersin's been out. Sois has been playing again at the left. You've had Kilman, who's been absolutely brilliant in every single game. I mean, his composure on the ball.
Yeah,
he looks everything a Premier League defender, and Cody's done really well. Marshalling, he's been shouting at the players, commanding, captain, all the way through the game. And I thought the defence had done really, really, really well, and defended very well against United. And I thought how we've been closing them down, United, and winning the ball back. Moutinho was like a little terrier. Neves ran the show today. I thought Trincao looked, especially in the first half, really good. Adama is unplayable. If he could score, if he could shoot, he would be every bit £100 million player. It's crazy, isn't it, mate?
You made a good point there about the defence, and I made a similar point after the Leicester match. Their key attacking players today were non-existent. Jadon Sancho, I'd be surprised if he touched the ball more than 5 times all match. Cavani, when he came on, didn't have a kick. And that says more about our defence than it does about Man United, because we haven't let them. We've cut off the supply line to them. We've been really tight when the ball has gone in their direction. So that's another plus point for me, that the defence, I think, looks really solid. And that's without Bolly as well, because it hasn't always been the case when Bolly's not been playing.
To be honest with you, there's some people that thought Bolly would come straight back in, but I didn't. The team I put out was actually what I thought, because Bruno Lage has said he wants players going to bed dreaming about players taking and having nightmares about players taking their thing. And I thought Sois hasn't done a lot wrong, really. So he's kind of got the shirt. I do think, obviously, they're trying to get that centre back in. It'd be nice if we got another midfielder in. But yeah, I mean, it's been a funny old game today. I mean, I also thought I was a bit disappointed with Bruno Fernandes and Pogba. Bruno Fernandes and Pogba are both world-class players. Fernandes went down in the first half with, like he was dying, and we were on the attack and we kicked the ball out for him. And then literally he got up, and 2 minutes later he was running around like a teenager. Pogba went down with pretend cramp. They played the game, and there's lots of niggly, nasty tackles all the way through the game, trying to cut out Trincao and Adama, and Raul took a few knocks today as well at source. Moutinho and Neves all getting chopped down at Marcel as well, and Semedo all the way throughout the game. It reminded me of a Mourinho, not Moutinho, Mourinho top Spurs, what they did on us. And I found that very disappointing from top quality players. They were almost 10 players behind the ball at the time. We dominated Man United today.
We did. One point that I did want to make on the show tonight, I heard a lot of fans last season saying, we've got to play 4 at the back. It's the only way going forwards. But I think the last few matches have shown, even though we haven't scored, that even if you do play 3 or 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it, that can be an attacking formation if you have the correct intent and the desire to go and score goals. So I'm all for sticking really at the moment for this 3-4-3 formation because it's making us create chances and we still look solid at the back. So I just wanted to make the point tonight that it doesn't have to be 4 at the back to be attacking.
I think you're absolutely right. You know what, Paul? Because we did expect Bruno Lage to come in with a 4 at the back. And obviously he played that way, obviously, with Benfica very, very successfully. But I think the fact that he's adapted, obviously wants to play to some of our strengths and not being able to, doesn't feel confidence in the centre-back pairing to be able to play the 4 at the back. And the way he's adapted it, okay, we didn't really see the best of it in pre-season up until the Celta Vigo second half. But we're so on the front foot throughout the whole game, and playing that 3-4-3 is incredibly positive, and and we've just got that little bit of security. Paul, to finish off with, what would your performance rating be for today, and who is your personal man of the match?
Performance rating, I'd give 7.5, because it could even be 8 actually, because if you're the manager, I don't see what you would do that differently if you played that game again, other than obviously taking the chances. Looked solid at the back, looked exciting going forwards. So performance-wise, I'd actually give it an 8. I really enjoyed it, particularly the first half. Man of the match is difficult because I don't think one of our players really stood out, but equally, nobody was below a 6 out of 10. I don't know who's got man of the match on Sky, but surely it's got to be De Gea as the overall man of the match. But
yeah, in terms
of us, I'd probably say Ruben
Neves.
Not just his passing, but all the little things that he does that you might not notice straight away. His positioning, the way that he cuts off passing angles from the opposite team. He's very intelligent footballer, and I think he played a real key role today in keeping them quiet and getting our attacks going.
Absolutely. And as a United fan here, Jayden, just to finish off with your segment, as a United fan watching the game, today you deserved it. Your problem is how clinical the front three are. And I guess that's kind of sums it up at the moment. Hopefully the goals will come. We've got that new signing as well. That's the South Korean that's come in a bit on the pitch today. He looks like he's fast. He's got potential. He didn't score so many goals for Leipzig. He played 20 games, scored 3 goals in the cup, not in the league. But for Salzburg, he scored something like 45 goals in 110 appearances and got 29 assists. So it'd be interesting to see how he integrates into the squad. Paul, thank you so much. Always absolute pleasure to have you on the channel. I know you're up early tomorrow, so I've got you on first again.
Appreciate that, Dave.
Appreciated it, mate. And hopefully after the international break, we can come in and be talking about that first victory and actually those first goals as well.
Yeah. Well, I'll be at Watford, so happy to talk about that after the match.
Brilliant. I'm going to Watford as well, so I'll hopefully see you down there.
Yep, look forward to it. And I'm not looking forward to the international break. I want the next match to come for us now, so we can get
Bruno Lage was saying that he's like he doesn't want the international break because 10 players are going away, and some of them won't get back till Wednesday, Thursday. We got the match on the away against Watford on the weekend. But that's just how it is. I'm sure we'll roll with it, and hopefully we'll get the results and the goals will fly in down there.
Great stuff. Well, good to speak to you, Dave, and speak to you again soon.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Okay, cheers, everyone. See you.
That's Paul, who always talks a lot of sense. We're going to get Thomas and Michael on next, and then we're going to get Manny on after that. But we've also got backstage, we've got Spencer, Tuba Wolves, and Scott. But here comes father and son, Thomas and Michael. Hello, guys. How are you?
How are we doing? Not too bad, not too bad.
All good. I don't know if you can turn your camera around so we can get more of you in.
Like that.
Oh,
no, upside down.
I don't. Sorry.
Put it back. Yeah. Is that better?
Well, you're still upright, but we'll go with that. Yeah, I'll just try and get you a little bit bigger on the screen. There we go.
Okay,
nice one.
So we're actually away in a caravan, so if the Wi-Fi is not great, you might have...
Are you away in the caravan? Okay. Fantastic. Give us your thoughts on the game then, guys. Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
You're sort of freezing. So let's just give us your thoughts on the game. Hopefully we can hear some more of you. If not, we'll try and get you back on. Go on, guys.
Okay, yeah. So
sadly, guys, you're not coming through with the connection, unfortunately. Give you one more go.
We thought it was another good performance. Same problem, not scoring goals. Awful decision not to give. If you watch a slow motion replay, can you hear me?
Sadly, now we've lost Thomas and Michael. We'll try and get them back. Let's move on to Manny. Sorry about that, guys. Manny, are you ready in the green room? He is. So here he is. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm on the diet vanilla Cokes. I'm on the diet vanilla.
I saw you hanging out with a few of the players today. You've hung out with Ella Kobe. You've been hanging out.
Yeah, you know what? I just met a few friends that I hadn't seen, and we were just milling around and just talking about the match. And Mel Eves popped out first, and I said to Mel, "You need to go and teach our players how to finish.
Yeah,
introduce the ball to the net. Here's ball. Here's net. Please go in." You know?
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So and after a few of the players came out, and George Elikobi, absolute legend. So nice meeting those players. But wow, that was my first home game of the season, by the way, because I was in India for the Spurs game.
You were, and how did you feel about it?
Well, I watched the Spurs game on the box, and it was carry on where we left off, first half, on the front foot, the way Bruno plays, high press. Not respecting the opposition, just taking it to them. And Dave, I've said to you on these podcasts, rewind them for 3 years. I've been saying 2 years, we don't score enough goals. We didn't score enough goals last season, regardless of the Raul injury. We didn't score even goals the season before, not enough. We only ever score ones and twos. And now we're on zeros. So
I know, mate.
That's the issue. But, the general play, the intent, the chances. Let me put it this way. If someone said Spurs, Leicester, Man United, you will only concede 3 goals, but you will have 56 attempts, you'd say, wow. You would say, wow. And you'd have expected out of 56 attempts to score 3 or 4 goals. So we should be sitting on 4 to 5 points, and we would say, wow, what a start. Going into a run, Watford, Norwich, Southampton, Newcastle, Villa, all games that if we show the same intent, the same style, same front foot, maybe with the odd addition, surely we've got to pick up points. So I'm hopeful, but you just want to see that. I think Ruben Neves sort of summed it up. He goes, that one goal, that first goal, you can see it will give a big release, not to just the players, the crowd.
It happened against Forest on Tuesday, mate. When the first one went in, the floodgates opened. It was like 1 minute later, we scored again.
You look at Bruno, who did the interview today after the match. I just watched it, and he goes, it's just going to be a repeat of the Spurs, I'm afraid, what I'm going to say. And you could see he just wants to see a ball hit the net, celebrate, punch the air. All fans go wild. And that sets us off. That's all that's missing. Let's be honest. It's all the defence. 3 games has been imperious for me.
Yeah,
you can break apart the 3 goals that we conceded, but if we only concede 1 goal a game for 38 games, 38 goals conceded, we'll be one of the best defences in the league.
Yeah, Manny, actually, good points on the goal. What's your take of that goal?
Number one, at the time, where we're sitting, I can't call it a foul or anything. It looked like a late challenge, but we don't have hindsight. And then obviously he's gone through and put it in, and that can happen. And I'm not here. I don't dissect every little mistake we make. Could the keeper have done better? When we haven't scored goals? For me, football's about putting the ball in the back of the net. And if we score 2-3 goals, which our chances should warrant, then we're not worried about the odd goal we concede. The problem is we don't score goals. So that's what we've got to solve. Right here, right now, our problem is putting the ball in the back of the net. So that's what we've got to focus on. We've got to focus on our defence. Let's be honest. they look, we've mentioned a few players. Marcel, like a new signing. The guy's so strong, puts the challenge in, doesn't get shaken off, and thankfully, touch wood, it looks like he's shook off his, fragileness in the injury, all the injuries he had. And the defence, they were solid. They did what they had to do. So we have to focus on how the hell we're going to, put this ball in the back of the net, because some of the chances we have, they're not even like half chances or, scuffed, or, they are gilt edge right in front. The size double save. I mean, you just don't know how that's not got in.
If it had literally lashed at it, it would have hit the top of the roof. Rob O'Neill says, Manny, take off the gold tinted glasses. Number of shots mean nothing. Slowly heading to the championships. How do you answer that?
Well, if that's the way you head to the championship, then that's your opinion. You head to the championship because you show no passion. You're not up for the game. You're not creating chances. You're not competing, and you get rolled over like we used to get rolled over in 2003, 2004. One of the seasons under McCarthy was the same, where he was getting tonked, and we just weren't competing. We've gone toe-to-toe with Leicester, Spurs, and United, and all three, Brendan Rodgers, Nuno, and Ollie, will be thinking, wow, got away with that one. Bonus points for us. That's what they'll be thinking. So if the intent wasn't there and the creativity wasn't there, then obviously you would say, oh my God, we look absolutely dreadful. 3 games, no points, no goals. Yes, we are going to get relegated, but that's not the case. That's not the case. You have to be blind not to see that actually, wow, these are, look at Maguire and Varane, international defenders, 100-odd million pounds between the pair of them. 80 million pound Sancho, never got a kick. Not because he was rubbish, because we never let him play. So the general play is good. The general play is hopeful. We've been excited watching it. But you only win matches if you score goals. It doesn't matter whether it's Sunday League. It doesn't matter whether it's Champions League. Have to score goals. So that we have to solve that problem very quickly. The next matches are matches that now will be expected to get points from. People were fairly pessimistic of the first 3 matches. Oh, we haven't signed anyone. We're not going to do very well. We've got a new manager. How will it go? And we've actually, I think, on general play, we have impressed people. We've impressed pundits. We've impressed, the people watching, the further audiences. And we, as fans, have been impressed by how quickly Bruno has got his tactics onto the pitch. It's not his fault that we're missing, one-on-ones. We have to put the ball in the back of the net. He signed a new player. Don't know much about him. I don't know much about many of the players we signed. Hopefully he can add a bit. Raul hasn't had the chances. Let's be honest. He's come back, big injury. He links up really well. He linked up really well in the second half where he laid it to Adama and Adama squared it to Trinco. It wasn't the best ball from Adama, but Trinco should have took a touch. He had time to take a touch and compose himself, and he sort of just lashed at the shot, and that was the big chance before the size one. So he still is our best centre forward, and he will get fitter and stronger. And I'm sure as soon as he scores 1, he'll be on a run again. He's a class operator as well. But we're hopeful. Like Paul said, I'm not sitting here now. I'm gutted about the result. I'm gutted that we haven't scored a goal, but we're not here thinking, oh my God, we're going to get relegated, because I only think that if we're nowhere near competing with the opposition, and that's how we used to be in the years we used to get relegated. We basically looked like second fiddle, and we're not. Manchester United know today they got away with it. They were stronger in the second half, and they showed a lot of experience in managing the game and a few tactics, which we can boo and hiss all we like about players going down and trying to waste a bit of time, but it's exactly what we expect our team to do. When the chips are down, you have to be ruthless like that. They are winners. But you look at Neves in the midfield, Pogba and Fernandes, he made them look ordinary. He was head and shoulders above.
Absolutely. Well, Merv Bennett said they only noticed Sancho when he got subbed. I think that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if he's a good player, don't get me wrong. Sancho is a good player. You don't, score all those goals for Dortmund and get in the England side and get 80 million pound transfers to Man United for nothing. And we didn't let him have a kick. And to be fair, we didn't let many of their players have a kick. But unfortunately, when you don't score, then the opposition are in the game. If we've scored 1 or 2 goals, which our play warranted, then they're going to panic. And
I'll tell you what, Manny, I was right in line when Trinko went through and he beat the keeper, and I thought he was going to go in.
Yeah.
And then it was a good defense. I mean, to be fair, the Man United defense did defend well. They've got 2, what with Maguire and Varane, who came in, very, very experienced defenders.
Yeah, Manchester United have just gone 27 away games without defeat, which is now a new record in the Premier League.
28 now, isn't it?
28 is it? So they're not. We're not playing. Doncaster Rovers. This is like a world-class football team, and for many parts of the match, we totally schooled them. They were hanging on. They came at half time thinking, got away with that one, and in the second half, goals give you a lot of confidence and a lot of lift, and when you haven't scored and the chances go begging again. We haven't scored in the previous 2 matches. Then you're going
to get stung, and that's exactly exactly what happened.
We got to. I think Paul said the international breaks at the wrong time. We just need Watford next game straight away. Get in there, and show the same intent, show the same front foot play, and dominate the game as we have done for 3 games. The Leicester second half was brilliant. I went to that one, and the Spurs game, by all intent, with the whole game, we were very much on top. And today, the first half, and for many parts of the second half, I think we did fade as we hadn't scored, and we probably were shaking our heads a little bit. And I think there's a bit of a problem where sometimes he's trying to bring other players in like Silva and Gibbs White, but he's probably thinking, who do I bring off? Because actually we're playing well, and you're playing well. Who do we bring off? And sometimes it's easy to bring off the wrong players because Trinko and Traore just need to be on the pitch. I think they just are a threat, regardless of whether we've scored or not. And it's hopeful. I'm still hopeful, and I'm excited. I'm excited about what else he's got to bring to this side, and you can already see the intent. Totally different. Nuno had his way. And it worked because he beat some of the big sides, but that was his way. But we did.
I'll tell you what, mate. I'll tell you what. Maybe I'm just saying this, but like judging after what I performed, I know since we're going to head down to the Championship, this is not a team that's going down to the Championship. This is a team that's going to be pushing, in my opinion. Even though we've lost the first 3 games, I think we'll be, by the end of the season, we'll be pushing top 7, top 6. And I think we'll finish above Tottenham, even though Tottenham are top now.
I'm not as hopeful as you on the top 6 or 7, Dave. I'm not going to say that, but we have to get a result. So get a result that sets the ball rolling. If we don't get a result next game, then suddenly people can turn because it's Watford next. It's not Manchester United or Spurs or Leicester. So we have to get a result. Make no bones about it. However well we play, I remember. Blackpool had a great season, the ones in the Premier League, and they got relegated because they played really good football. So there will be a point where we say, okay, we've played lots of really good football, but until we get results, it means nothing. So eventually that time will come. I don't think that time is right now after 3 games against very, very good opposition teams that will be in around the top 4, And we've got to stick with Bruno. Obviously, he's only just started, and he's I think he's done brilliantly to get his methods onto the pitch very quickly. And we've got to draw the team on. Hopefully, the selections are right, and we stick the ball in the back of the net, and that's how it starts. And we've suddenly got options with Podence being back and Wang Yi-chan, who's a new signing. He's another forward. So we've got forward options. It's not relying on the Luke Cundalls and the Chem Campbells. And, we've got now some good players. And the players up front, even Raul, will have to up their game and score goals because they'll know there's other people waiting in the wings that are ready to have a go themselves.
So, Manny, to finish off with your segment, how would you give the rating out of 10, and who is your personal man of the match today?
I find it hard to give a really, really high rating when you lose a game.
Yeah.
And scoring goals is part of football, so I can't really go above 7 out of 10. There's goals that turn it into an 8 or higher, so 7 out of 10 because our general play was good, our intent was good, our pressing was good. Defensively, I thought we were very, very good. So it's a 7. And I'll just give the man of the match. Ruben Neves is a really easy one to pick, but I'm going to give it to Marcel. Just somebody who's had 8 Nuris in. We bought him, and he looks really good. But he's sort of took that place and made it his own. And he's strong. He sets off attacks.
Experienced as well.
He's experienced, and you can tell he's got a bit of know-how. He's not scared, is he, about whoever he comes up against. He doesn't seem like it phases him. He'll go in for a crunching tackle if he needs to be. And we need that. We need that little bit of nastiness. Other teams have got it, and he certainly adds that. So I'll give it to him.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. And you will be able to join me, Manny, on, as I say, Tuesday night. It's the big debate transfer deadline special where we'll be looking over the whole of the transfer window and hopefully feeling very positive about the business that we've done. A key thing for me, get a centre back in, hold on to Traore, Manny. I think we'll be happy. If
someone says Raul, Traore, and Neves will still be at your club, that's 3 huge. We've done well to keep them because they are very sought after players. And then I'm not the one to say we need 3, 4, 5 players because we've got Yerson, Bowley, Pedence, Johnny, Neto. We've got 4 to 5 players to come into this side that has, in general play, dominated some top 6 sides. So, I'm expecting probably 1 additional, maybe 2. I don't know. I've never commented on any of the speculation on social media because, the way Wolves work, they reveal nothing, they say nothing, and then they unveil the player.
Rabbit out the hat. I'll tell you what, Manny, 48 hours from now when we're starting the show, we'll know.
Yeah, we'll know.
Absolutely brilliant, mate, and great that you were obviously fantastic. We raised.
I've got my Neves scarf on.
Over £2,000 raised from Samosa Saturday for Dementia.
Yeah, brilliant. I met Merv. He bought some samosas to the game.
He said he expected to.
There was another fan who showed me their samosas. So people have been smuggling their samosas into the stadium. Brilliant effort again. The fans are just tremendous. Hopefully next one, we'll pick a game. Very, very busy, and it's hard to get a home game on a Saturday. But we'll pick a game before Christmas, this side of Christmas, where we'll be at the ground outside before the match, and everybody can join in.
Looking forward to that, mate. Absolutely brilliant. But keep up the top work with that.
Thank you.
And always support and magnificent effort. Not only raising money for Dementia UK, but also raised some money for the foundation at points during the last year as well. Brilliant effort from everyone. Manny, thank you. And no doubt we'll be playing tennis sometime this week, and we'll be getting together, as I say, 2 days from now.
Tuesday night,
Transfer window.
No problem, Dave. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Nice one, mate. Take care, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
So that's Manny. As always, talks a lot of sense. Brilliant. Again, to hear what Manny's going to say. I say join me, Manny, and hopefully Amy and another special guest 2 nights from now for the transfer deadline special. That's certainly going to be an interesting show. And I know some of you have said, Dave, you're off your rocker thinking we can finish 7th, and maybe I am. Maybe I am. I am always positive, but I was concerned. But I don't know. I just think that this team is good enough to beat anybody, anyone, any team we can beat playing like this. Okay, we've got to put the ball in the back of the net a lot more, but I feel really positive that we can beat anybody. And I feel that we're good enough if, as long as we keep hold of, like I say, Neves and Traore, bring in another couple of players. I think we're going to have a good squad that's strong enough to challenge for that European places. And I guess you'll have to judge me on that come towards the end of the season. Next up, we're delighted to bring back a friend of the show. It is Tuba Wolves. Hello, Craig. Great to have you back for a new season, mate.
Hiya, Dave. Really, really nice to be back. I'm absolutely shocked that we've got no points and no goals. We're playing so well today. To play what £500 million side off the park today, we absolutely battered them. And it's composed.
Let's just stop you there for a second, Craig, because you are the sort of person that if you're not happy, you will come on here and say
Oh, no, I'll tell you.
You will. So you know you will be very, very critical. So you're feeling very, very positive.
Leicester, Spurs, Man United. We have been top draw. Large has got us playing in absolutely the right way. A high press, giving teams no space whatsoever, moving the ball with speed, one-touch football. Neves playing out of his skin because he's starting to play forward, not defensive when Nuno had him. If you look at Spurs now and England in the Euros, it was like watching Wolves, wasn't it, last year? It was defensive. It was not, let's go win the game. It was, let's make sure that we don't lose the game. And the mentality is different. Large has just literally turned us into, monsters, hunting down the ball, not giving quality players any space. And
you know what? You know what, Craig? I mean, I'm a massive fan of Nuno. I think many of us are. And, I wanted him to be given a chance for this season because of what happened last season. However, saying that, the football for the last 18 months was down, and I think there were reasons. But again, someone said to me earlier on today, can you see a Nuno team playing like this? And the answer is no. Yeah. And it's kind of a revolution in the way we're playing, from being ultra defensive to being so attacking. And I know you might laugh when I said we'll finish higher than Tottenham. Tottenham are grinding out 1-0 results.
I agree with you.
That won't last forever.
I agree with you.
And we will start scoring the goals. And I think, Tottenham are doing well. They're getting the results. They're top of the table right now. Arsenal are bottom. So if you're a Tottenham fan, it doesn't get much better. But when it doesn't get much better, I think where can you go from here? Because I can't see that Tottenham side, the way they're playing, really challenging for top four. Even maybe they're challenged for Europe, but I think Wolves will be in the contention. I think Wolves can chase them down. I really do, and I think we'll beat them in the cup, and I think we'll beat them next time we play away. But
Dave, I can see this side being top 6, top 5. I mean, they're playing wonderful stuff. We're just not doing one thing, and that's scoring. And the composure's lacking, Dave. And I think that's down to the fact that these players want to do so well. So they're snatching at chances, and they're getting a little bit hotter in the head when they've got an opportunity. We missed so many chances today, didn't we? And it's so maddening, frustrating to see your side play so well, play a multi-million-pound side off the park, play Spurs off the park, play Leicester off the park, and not score a goal. And there's not much more you can say, because in terms of structure and setup and speed of play and press, we're doing everything right. So there's nothing to moan about apart from that end product, which that's a frustrating thing.
I'll tell you what, there's Killer Luke, who's a Liverpool fan, watching the game today. Thought we were completely robbed. Absolutely. What did you make of the United goal, mate?
It was a foul, Dave, and with a more picky ref. I mean, we knew when we got Mike the cheat Dean that we were never going to get anything. He hates Wolves. You can see that.
He does us every single time, doesn't he?
But the still of it, which is the most crucial thing, Pogba has gone right over the ball. right into Nevis's shin, which is a reckless challenge. Studs off the ground. It's a red card.
Is it a red card because it wasn't 2 foot? I thought initially it was 2 foot, but it looked like 1 foot.
It's reckless. If it's reckless and you're off the floor and you've got no control over the tackle, that's a red card.
That's
so
right. I mean,
but Dave, I have to say that should have made no difference, shouldn't it? We should have been 3-0, 4-0 up by then. So to moan about one foul in a game is sort of missing the point that we're not taking the gilt-edged chances that we've got. And you mentioned Adama. If Adama could finish or he got a final ball, it'd be worth 150 million quid because he's unstoppable. It looks fantastic. It's just frustrating.
Kevin Jackson says Craig makes no diff who we play if you can't score.
But he is right. Football's about goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we I'd rather lose 1-0 at the moment for the first 3 games, Dave, playing the way we're playing, than lose 1-0 playing the dour stuff that we were playing last season, which was.
Do you know what? Thinking they always say with a striker, any striker in football, if they miss goals and they miss chances, but they're getting in the right positions, then the goals will come. Absolutely. It's if you're not getting into the positions to shoot or shoot on goal that's when you really worry, because as long as you keep getting into the right position, you keep making the chances, eventually the goals will come. We have got to be so much more clinical. And it does seem like we've been so unlucky. It's like we just sometimes need a little bit of a look going off the back of someone's ass or, take a deflection. But every little ball that bounces seems to bounce the wrong way for us. Sayis, I watched that double save from De Gea, and it was great. And he did everything right. He headed it down, it was saved, and then he tried to, play it into the corner and De Gea. If he'd have just lashed that, the second one, and he'd lashed it into the roof of the net, and then he tried to put it in, and we're just trying, I think, to be too sure with the goals. I mean, there's another one. Trinco had that shot, kind of an overhead kick that just went past the post in the first half. Then Trinco beat the keeper, and it was a sliding tackle to you just think, it just won't happen. But it will happen. The goals will come, and we are playing against very good defenses. Tottenham defended very well against us. Last-dish tackles. Leicester last-dish tackles against us. United have got 2 world-class defenders in Maguire and Varane, who defended very, very well, especially on the set pieces. And we still had so many shots on target. But we can sit here and say till we're blue in the face if we don't start scoring the goals. Everyone's right. You won't get any points, but I can't see that not happening.
Dave, we will start scoring. Everything's there apart from the goals, isn't it? The way we're playing, it's just terrific to watch. I mean, today I couldn't believe that first half. To play against the quality we played today, and literally outplay the side. They hadn't got a clue what to do with us. The interaction between us and every single player played the part. I mean, it's so difficult to pick man of the match today because every single.
Well, let's move on to that, Craig. Who is your man of the match, and what is your performance rating from today? Let's hear it.
8 out of 10. With goals. Would have been a 9.5, 10, wouldn't it? Out of 10. Troy Ore for me, he just, I wish he got that end product, Dave, because he's literally unplayable when he picks a ball up. And he makes so much space for everybody else. And also, anybody that thinks that guy is not playing for us needs to give that head a wobble. Because every time, he's so much effort. So Neves and Adama were really close, but Adama's got it for me because every time that he picked the ball up, Dave, he scared United to death.
Absolutely, mate. So Adama's got the nudge from you. It's been spread around tonight, so it'll be interesting on what Spence and Scott say on their man of the match, and I'll give mine at the end.
Dave,
Craig, yeah, go
can I
on.
say one last thing?
Yeah.
Thanks for all the work you're doing. You did it through the England Euros. No, but you know, it's really easy to just come on these shows and not to appreciate that somebody's got to do a load of work behind the scenes. You've become a legend for us, a Wolves legend, getting Manny on, who talks so much.
That, mate, a legend.
Rubbish. You just do an absolutely great job. You did it through the Euros with England. From all Wolves fans, thanks for all you're doing for us. Absolutely top draw, mate. I
appreciate that. And of course, Craig, thanks very much for your support as well. It means the world. Hopefully we can meet up for that drink soon.
Absolutely.
Which would be nice. Right, there's Craig with his thoughts on the match. He's making his debut for this season. Much appreciated, mate. Hopefully you can come on one of the shows coming up after the international break as well.
Absolutely, buddy. You take care of yourself.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ra, buddy.
There's Craig. Of course, if you watched the end of last season, we had Craig playing his tuba as well, because he is a very talented musician as well. Merv Bennett says the producer deserves a pay rise. 100% agree on that one without a shadow of a doubt. We've got Carpet Steve, United fan, extremely lucky today, but all those missed chances cost you. Very, very good. If there's a United fans on there to come on and say that, and we appreciate that. It's a very fair comment. Much appreciated. Next on, all the way over in sunny Blackpool, we have another friend of the show, Spencer. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. To be fair, that game was really enjoyable, and Wolves definitely should have got more from that. Wolves deserve the win overall, to be honest, in my opinion.
Well, I would say that we'd probably deserve 3 points, let alone one, but we ended up with none. That's football, and it's a bit of a familiar theme, Spencer, for the first 3 games of the season. Which is why we're very positive on the one hand, and we can see the potential, and we love the way we're playing. But you can understand people on the other hand saying, well, it's all right playing this great football. If you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you're going to be in trouble. And to be fair, playing like this and a narrow defeat, outplaying Leicester, Spurs and United is of one thing. But then when you come up against Watford, Newcastle and Brentford, things could turn if we don't start taking these chances and winning these games.
Well, obviously, I think most of the originals know that I'm obviously an Everton fan, and I kind of support Wolves as well.
Well, that's because you were a Wolves ball boy for 4 years.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if you're a Wolves fan and you've been a Wolves fan for like all your life, you've got to come. I would say you've got to come away happy with that game, because the way that you played was so dominant, and I think, personally, Wolves should have been about 2-0 up within the first 15 minutes.
Well, you ain't wrong there. I mean, the first 7 minutes, we had 3 really good opportunities.
I think first 7 minutes, you had already 2 shots on target, which were really good shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That I don't know what his first Trincao. He was really good. He was brilliant.
He's the chap we've got from Barcelona on loans with an option to buy for 25 million at the end of the season. He's going to be going into his role more and more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Ashley here who's made an interesting comment. It's good to actually see United fans coming on watching the show. Ashley says, United fan here, I was actually scared how many chances you had, and seeing Traore against Fred scared me even more. How on earth we didn't lose that is crazy, but unlucky today to you. You deserve the win. I mean, that is very, very top.
I like football fans like that. I like football fans like Ashley, because he's seen it from an open opinion. He knows that game could have turned either way. It could have been a win. Well, it was a win for United. It could have been a draw. It could have been a win for Wolves. Like, football fans like that, they have an open mind. They know what could have happened. They know the consequences. And to be fair, it was just unlucky for Wolves today.
Yeah, I think that's class when you get when you get comments come on like that from a opposition fan. That's a really class comment. So thank you for that, Ashley. I appreciate it. And the Tuber Wolves said, forgot to say, DD, we should get Jesse Lingard, scorer of goals, end of top show. I think it's done in the forward positions with the new South Korean chap coming on today. I think it's more defence and maybe a midfielder that will look together.
Jesse Lingard might be making a deadline day move to Everton.
I would be surprised with that as well. But he is gonna, if he does go somewhere, he's gonna definitely. I mean, was it West Ham he went to last year?
He was brilliant for West Ham, yeah. And obviously Everton are looking for a replacement for Richarlison if he ends up going to PSG, which is only happening if Mbappe goes to Madrid.
Well, there you go. The transfer merry-go-round of dominoes waiting. I think it's going to be a very interesting transfer deadline day, that's for sure. So, Spencer, let's hear your Wolves performance rating and your Wolves man of the match.
Performance rating, I would have to say a 9 because, as I said at the start, I personally think Wolves should have won that. To be honest, no disrespect to any United fans, you won the game kind of fair and square because I didn't know what that foul was like at the start. Like, it didn't look like it was a foul. And then you watch it back, obviously, because I'm watching all the way from up north on the TV. It kind of was a foul, in my opinion. I would have to definitely say a 9 rating for the overall performance of Wolves today, and I would have to say my man of the match is Traoré, just for the way that he scared the midfield. Like the midfield, like Fernandes, Fred, Pogba, they just couldn't get anywhere near him.
Well, that's well said. And if you're watching this, obviously on YouTube, please could you do us a favour and hit the like button for us? It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying this content. And if you are new watching the channel, be really grateful if you could subscribe and hit the bell notifications. There will be a full match vlog out on the channel on Monday, which will be following the game from the build-up through to all the match action and including the goal in the game today, and that will be a good one to see. And we've had some interviews with some Wolves fans.
I would just like to say, obviously, my family's all Everton.
Yeah,
I would probably be afraid for when we play you because, I mean, you're more than likely with that attacking football, you're more than likely to absolutely be all over Everton.
Well, Everton have had a good start, 7 points from 9 games. From 9 points, so that's a good start. I'm not sure when Wolves play Everton. I can't remember.
I think it's not September, October.
In October, is it? So that will be quite good. And you've been watching a bit of Blackpool as well, haven't you, mate? Okay.
Yes, I have.
Blackpool season tickets. So you just love your football, Spencer. That's good to see. You're living in Blackpool. You support. You're an Everton fan. Living in Blackpool. Got a Blackpool season ticket holder, but also a Wolves balls boy, and Wolves are your definite second favourite team without a shadow.
Obviously, I mean, to be fair, I think over lockdown, I kind of stopped being so biased to Everton, and I just decided to be more opened up about football. So I can literally just watch any football game now, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, let's just, before we finish with you, your family are all Everton fans, so you're going to be an Everton fan. So that's one tick. You lived in Wolverhampton for a lot of your life and was a Wolves ball boy for 4 years. So that kind of means that you've got an affinity to Wolves, and you live in Blackpool. So the 3 teams there, they're all good reasons why you like them and support them. And Steve Griffiths says, fair play, Spencer, good football fan.
I respect that because I mean, some of my friends will say, "Oh, make your mind up, make your mind up." How can I make my mind up when I've been in different situations at the same time? But to be fair, that's just their problem at the end of the day if they don't like it. But overall today, I'm impressed with Wolves, and they did have a good performance.
And there's the answer. Roger Tomlinson says,
November
the 1st we play Everton.
Is that home or away? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Maybe Roger will tell us in a second. So yeah, Spence, thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, no
much
worries, man.
appreciated, mate, and obviously great to have you back on the channel, and hopefully see you in Wolverhampton in the near future.
I'm coming down Wolverhampton on Thursday, actually.
Oh, you seen family?
I'm down for a week.
Oh, right, that's good. So we might bump into you anyway then. So
Yeah,
cool.
no worries.
I'll be around West Park at some point playing tennis. You know me.
Yeah, I'll come and visit.
All right, mate. Nice one.
Yeah.
All the
No
best,
worries.
Spence.
Have a nice one. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. So apparently, for the answer for Spencer, Roger Tomlinson, Wolves are at home. Spencer, and our last guest, because he loves just soaking it all in. He does. He's Bushbury Hill CEO, sporting director, player, and also, as seen on social media, he also does the job of the emergency sponge man as well. We've got Scott. Hello, mate. And you're the Bush 141 today.
Yes, we did. Great result.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a great result. One of the players decided to go down and wanted my treatment, so I had to do the Baywatch run.
I saw it, man. It was funny. Absolutely funny. But at least we can laugh about it.
Yeah.
So, Scott, you're up last again. I know you love being the bookend to Paul at the thingy. Just let me know what your thoughts are on the game today to finish off on.
The best way you can look at it is we've played 3 very good teams. We've been the best team in all 3 games, and we've lost. I'm not worried. It's a transition period between Nuno to Bruno, and the period so far that I've seen in these 3 games, and the cup game you can include, is this manager is got us going the right way. And if you look at the game that we got coming up in Watford, it's a game where Raul's got history with Watford. He scores against Watford, and we need a team to score a lot of goals past. I've got a good feeling about Watford. I honestly have.
Well, I like that. I've had a good feeling against Tottenham. I had a good feeling against United as well. And my good feelings were right because we played well and we should have won, but we didn't win.
It will come. We just need to keep the faith. We need to trust Bruno's process. We need to trust what he's trying to do. And you can see from all the games that under Bruno so far this season that the progression is there. The one thing we just lack is the goals. But with people like Raul, Podence, Neto, Traore, Trincao, the goals are going to come. They will. And it proved that when you were at Forest. Because you compare him to Nuno. If that was Nuno, I guarantee you half the team that would have gone to Forest would have been under 23s.
I think he's going for something. I just want to answer this question here. Wolves FC talking things. Dave, this new signing does look like he's got pace but can't finish to save his life. Why can't we sign anyone clinical? Well, I just watch my video on this South Korean because he played 20 times for RB Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig last year in the league. He didn't score, granted. He did score 3 goals in the cup, but he was at our Red Bull Salzburg the year before that, couple of years before that. He scored 45 goals in 120 something games and 29 assists. So just because it didn't quite work out for him in the Bundesliga last year, in whatever system, doesn't mean that it's not going to work out for him here. Wolves looked at him, the Korean. They looked at him when they bought Daniel Podence in January 2020. They've had their eyes on him for quite a period of time. So Wolves have bought him on loan with an option to buy. So they've done it the right way. So let's give the guy a chance. And I think you might be surprised.
You listen to what Bruno says as well. He only wants top players. That's why he was determined that we keep Traore. He was determined that we bring in top quality players. And like you said, Dave, this player has been on the Wolves radar for a long time. And I think he wasn't in a position to come to Wolves at that current time when we first went after him because they had sold quite a lot of their players at that time and they wanted to keep him. Fast forward to now, we've got him now. He's still only 25, I think.
25 years of age.
Yeah.
And apparently he's almost as fast as Traore. He's faster than Son. Apparently he's quicker.
And with a manager that is attacking minded and you could already see what he's trying to implement, it's a great addition if you ask me.
Well, it's on loan as well. So it's on loan. Wolves have used the loan to buy option many, many times, very successfully. So if he comes in and does the job and impresses like they think, they'll buy him. If he doesn't, they'll let him go. So we've got a chance for him to see how he likes us and for us to see how we like him. And Wolves will definitely get a lot of South Korean fan base. I mean, just look how it's worked for Tottenham. So there's method in the madness. Let's just wait and see how he's used. I don't think he's going to be straight in the side, but he can play as a central striker, i.e. as a support, a backup for Raul along with Fabio, but he can also play along the front three as well. So be really interested to see how that works. Scott, your general feeling on the first 3 games and today to finish, and your match performance rating and man of the match?
For me personally, this game was just like the other 2. Best team on the pitch. The result just didn't go away. I'm confident of things going our way as time goes on. I do agree the international break has come at probably the wrong time for us, but I'm still confident Bruno's going to get the best out of his players. Talking about that challenge, it was definitely a red card. You saw his shin guard move.
A red card?
Yeah.
You think the goal should not have stood?
Neves straight away has gone to kick the ball. He's kicked the ball. Pogba's come over. He's hit his shin guard. His shin guard's come round and then sprung back. Like Neves said in his interview, he's then gone to run because he didn't know where the ball had gone. As soon as he knew the ball was not in any danger for us, he went down. Mike Dean is literally standing in front of that incident. If fans could hear the connection, why couldn't Mike Dean?
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what. It was probably 40 yards from where we were sitting, and you could hear the crunch.
Mike Dean's just useless. Like I've said this many times on many different videos on YouTube. The Premier League is the best league in the world, but it has the worst officials.
Well, it's been said many times, but Mike Dean has history with Wolves. I thought, we always seem to be on the wrong end every single game of a Mike Dean decision. I remember the game against Cardiff, that key game away against Cardiff when he decided to give them 2 penalties in added time to try and scupper us, but luckily we survived. And I do think, having seen it back, now it was a foul. I don't think it was a red card personally because it wasn't 2-legged. It was a bit out of control, but it wasn't 2 feet. But I think it was a foul and a yellow card. But there's a few tackles that he didn't give yellow cards through today. And if he'd have clamped down on United players early doors, they wouldn't have been getting away with it later on in the game.
Well, one criticism of that whole incident anyway that led to the goal was, I don't want to criticise the team because, like I said, all season I've been happy with the performances and I do know things are going to change for us as time goes on. But my one criticism is Sarr has to do better with that shot. And I'm not going to criticise him because I think Sarr had a good game. I think he's been playing well for us. But that's bread and butter. He's got to be stopping that shot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Sarr will be disappointed with that. He had a good game up until that point. Whether or not he was distracted because of the foul and he lost a bit of concentration, but you've only got to switch off against a team like United for a split second, you will get punished. It
comes back to what Paul said in the very first call that you had in, and it's for any level of football. Play to the whistle. Even if Neves has gone down, concentrate on the danger. Until the referee blows that whistle, the game's still going on, regardless of whatever has happened in that incident. And literally, if he did get distracted by it, hopefully he'll learn from it.
Hopefully. And who did you say your man of the match was?
My man of the match tonight, I'm going to give it Neves. Neves bossed the midfield. Neves is a different player under Bruno. This is probably the best I've seen him in ages. And Traore feels like he's been unleashed this season. So, if he could finish, it'd be the perfect person.
I'll tell you what, you ain't wrong. I'm hoping that will come. I'm going to tell everyone whilst I've got you on, mate. My performance rating was 8, and my man of the match today, which I gave him my match reaction, was also Neves. I thought he ran the show. I thought it was magnificent. He is a wolf through and through, that bloke. He is a wolf. Complete wolves Wolf he is. You know, I can't believe we've had someone like Neves. I thought he might go this window. 4 years, 5 years, and he's played for us. He's Wolves through and through. This lad.
I'll tell you now, Neves is always going to be linked to different places every season, but I guarantee you Neves ain't going anywhere. He loves Wolverhampton. He loves the club. The guy gave up Champions League football because he believed in the project. He still believes in the project. He's been a big part of this project, and this is probably arguably one of the best seasons he's had so far, and he's only just getting started. So I'm confident Neves is probably going to be like the player of the season for me, next to Traore. But the goals need to come, and they will do. I'm confident of it. My match rating, I would say 7.5. The only reason why I wouldn't give it any higher is just because it's the third loss in a row in the league, and we still haven't scored any goals. But other than that, top performance.
Absolutely, mate. I agree. I completely agree. And we've got 2 days to go till the transfer window. Hopefully, you can. Everyone that's watching here on the stream, please smash a like on the video, and hopefully you can join us 10 p.m. Tuesday night, the last hour of the transfer deadline day, to talk about the transfer window. And that window can close, and we've still got the likes of Neves and Traore as part of the team. And I think if we can come out of this window, as Manny said, with Raul, Neto, who obviously is injured, you know, Neves and Traore is still in our team, and we've added a few additions. I really do believe we've got a team that's going to go places this year. I've
got a feeling that 2 players will come in, nobody will go out.
I think you might be right, to be honest, mate. And let's just hope that's the case. I think there will be something happen. Whatever happens, I just really, really hope that Wolves do not let Traore go on transfer deadline day, because I think that would deflate the fans and deflate the team.
I don't think they will, because you look at it as well. The only team that was interested in him really was Tottenham. Tottenham's already spent some money on some players. I'm not a Tottenham fan, so I couldn't tell you who they are. But there are a couple of players that have gone to Tottenham recently. I think they're done with Traore. If Kane had gone to City, then yeah, it would have been splashed the class. Yeah. But because Kane's staying now, no, he won't go in this window. And even Bruno said he ain't going anywhere in this window. So I believe he won't go. The biggest transfer on deadline day will be Lingard to West Ham. Permanent.
Oh, well, Spencer thinks Lingard's going to Everton.
I'm not so sure. I reckon he'll go West Ham because he had a really good season with them last season.
And a good relationship with their fans as well.
And you look at the amount of players who've just come in that played the Lingard role. Ronaldo, Sancho. Lingard needs to get out of United and go West Ham. He'll relish there because West Ham are unbelievable this season.
Absolutely, mate. Well, I think that's a good one to finish. Scott, thank you very much for joining us again. Much appreciated. I know you don't mind whenever you go on.
Like I said to you before, I like listening to everybody. So you
do. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Scott. Much appreciated.
No worries, man. You look after yourself.
And you, mate. Over and out. And ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching in the world, that concludes tonight's Extra Turn. As you know, we didn't have an Amy tonight. Hope she'll be returned for the next one. She is out and about a lot these days. And hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you have, please smash a like on the video. Whether you're watching this live or back on YouTube, leave some comments. Look out for the match day vlog, which will be out on Monday, and also check out my match reaction. And if you're listening to this back on the Always Wolves podcast, it is available, as you probably know, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all good podcast providers. And just to remind you that my channel and also the podcast has been voted to make the final of best fan channel for the Premier League and best podcast Premier League. So please look underneath all my videos, leave the votes on the website for both my channel Dazzling Dave and also the podcast. We really appreciate that. And look at following us under the Always Wolves under Instagram and Twitter, or myself, Dazzling Dave, on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for everyone that's been in the chat today, contributing. Much appreciate to all of my guests, and to you and your loved ones wherever you are in the world. Yes, we've lost again. Yes, we've not scored any goals, but boy, it's been exciting. It will come. It will happen. Keep believing. Keep the faith. And I'll see you on the live 10 p.m. Tuesday night for the great debate, transfer deadline special. From myself, Dazzling Dave, until all of you guys, wherever you are in the world, always Wolves.